Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 22 of GuildGab. We're back and we're all matching today with our Heart of Thorn as everyone goes, ha! Alright, we are all super hyped for Heart of Thorns. We got a lot of information this past couple weeks about, we've got the Revenants, we've got Masteries, we've got adventures and outposts. Just all kinds of stuff to talk about today. Real quick, my co-host, I'm AuroraPeachy. My co-hosts are Akasaurus Rex, Corvus, and Alex.
What's up?
We are back!
Yeah!
And we're excited! And we're going to talk about Heart of Thorn. But first, we've got this surprise festival called Lunar New Year that kind of came out of nowhere and surprised everyone.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on Lunar New Year?
It was super small, and I think like a lot of people were kind of annoyed that it was a really small festival, and like, you know, you've got Dragon Ball, but apart from that, there's not much else to do. But considering it did come out of nowhere, we didn't get any trailer, we didn't get any kind of announcement that it was coming at all. Like, totally cool, and it, you know, means we're not being left with nothing to do. And I think like had we had nothing, maybe just a wee bit of news or something on that Tuesday, we all would have been fine with it. So yeah.
Well, people will find any reason to complain, right?
Exactly.
I thought it was the coolest thing ever because I love Cantha. I love the architecture of Cantha, that art style, and they, you know, pretty much just like in one. Besides the Queen's, what's that place you need a ticket to go into?
Queen's Gauntlet and Crown Pavilion.
The special place that you need like a Queen's entrance ticket.
The Royal Terrace.
Yes. The Royal Terrace looks like it is totally just like filled with this stuff, and you can kind of like look in. Like, I don't have a ticket, so I can't go in. So I just kind of like you can stand on that little like
you can look over the side and be like,
oh, it looks really cool in there. I wish I could go in there.
But what's kind of really interesting is that they're hosting obviously it's the Cantha New Year, and for those for everyone who knows how Divinity's Reach was originally built and how it was originally envisioned, the Lunar New Year is actually held where the Canthan district was supposed to be, isn't it? Before they decided to just go, huge hole,
huge hole.
But it's kind of interesting. It's a really nice money sink. I've lost money.
You've lost money?
Yeah, I was like watching Bogoda's video about the Lunar New Year thing where you can buy the things. And it's like, yeah, you might not make money, but then he makes like 10 gold in this video. I'm like, yeah, I'll have me some of this. Like,
Did you boost your magic find? No, did you boost your magic find before you opened them?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, well, sort of. I ate cakes and okay, not enough. I only have like about 150% magic find on my account anyway. And but no, it's kind of cool. You know, you open the things, you get a questionable looking back piece. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I hate it's really nice that they put something in it. It's nice and collectible, but I just can't get behind it. It's too grey. I think that's my problem. The colours are too muted.
It's the bigger one is it's gold. It's got gold horns.
It's got
big
like
lanterns.
Gold. It'd be cool if it had like flaming eyes or something.
Ooh, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
I am the Ram of Death.
I don't think that would be very respectful to the Chinese New Year, though.
So I bought one of them off the trading post because I figured, you know, after the festival's gone, it might go up in price or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the only reason I have one, is just to sell it on in the future. I don't like the look of it that much. But it's cool that we got something like that.
Yes, I completely agree. It's better than nothing. I was like, who cares if it's tiny? They brought back Dragon Ball Arena, which a lot of people really love. And you know that you have extra daily achievements. You've got this envelope system, which is new. You have new rewards. They put a Ram balloon in the gem store last Tuesday.
I like that.
I
Plus
love the Ram balloon.
The kind of seasonal dailies actually give you a laurel for completing them as well.
They do.
So it's really good to do them.
Yeah.
I've been doing them every day.
And that outfit, holy crap.
Yeah,
I don't think it looks as cool as on male characters, except a Char, because the Char has like a hole for the tail, and it actually has like a dragon for the tail.
I've got to try. I tell you, it looks really cool on Azura. It looks really, really cool on Azura.
And female Azura, get the female version. That made me
Is
so happy.
Is there a female version of it?
Well, of the outfit, yeah, and the female Char and the female Asura, which a lot of times get the male version of stuff, they get the female version of it, and it looks awesome.
Sweet.
You have to check that out.
Yeah, it's really great. I've seen
Gender
a lot of little
equality.
female Asura running around in them, and Char actually.
But yeah, no, the ancestral outfit is really cool, and this is one of the things that I really like about Guild is when, even if it's like you say, it's like a little mini festival that just like bang, here's all this stuff that you can that you can buy and you can take around and you can wear, and everyone's even though it's not kind of a huge event, something like Canthan New Year was in Guild Wars 1 or something. People are still getting behind it, and people go, let's go and have a few games of Dragon Ball, which by the way I suck at. I'm so bad.
So bad.
Yeah.
And everyone else is running around doing like backflips off walls and throwing Hadoukens and everything. And I'm just there going.
I did one of the dailies is to win 5 matches in Dragon Ball Arena. I did that the first day and I said never again. I'm not ever trying to get 5 wins again because I was always on the losing team. No, especially the first day, nobody knew what they were doing.
Yeah. It's
the achievement. Go
on, mate.
I was just saying, the achievements that they added, like the kind of, I guess, the meta for the festival, like half of them are really good, but a lot of them are like impossible. Like there's one to like, you collect health, like from the kind of health power-ups, and one of them's like you have to collect so much health. It's like I can't imagine anyone actually managing it. And there's like an achievement for, I think maybe it's 100. You have to interrupt like 100 skills while you're in the arena, and that's really difficult to pull off. It's like using the kick move. The one that you
which you have to get, and every time you die it resets, so you have to go find that skill and then find someone to interrupt.
Yeah, and do it the right time. It's not like it's just I don't know, because it won't interrupt like the auto attack or anything like that. It's just I don't know. It's a really tricky achievement, and they could have just made the number a bit lower or something like that.
I think it is interesting though that they've added a game mode which is genuinely challenging for everybody. There's nothing like Sanctum Sprint where eventually you get first place and you get your little achievement, but it's genuinely challenging, and I really, really like it. My only slight kind of caveat is that I wish that it was a little bit faster paced, because I always feel like I'm kind of running through treacle when I'm in the Dragon Ball arena. But eventually, hopefully we'll see it become a permanent feature, along with, because Sanctum Sprint's a permanent feature now. And
that's true. But put it in as part of the activity rotation.
Yeah,
because that's where Sanctum Sprint is right now.
Yeah, I mean, I've just had a quick look at the activity roster, and it's down there under seasonal activity, so it's not there as permanent activities yet. But I think because we're looking at maybe, I reckon we're looking at another 6 months at least until Heart of Thorns drops.
Yeah, I'd say about 6 months. Yeah,
At most, maybe.
That's the big question. My guild actually right now, Maven's having a poll. we're having a pool. Guess the 5 gold gets you a day, and you guess the date that Heart of Thorns is going to come out.
Nice one. That's cool.
But no, I think by and large it's provided something that people can continue playing the game. Logging in and playing the game. It's something new that isn't going to be around forever at the moment, which, as much as people have lambasted it in the past, is actually one of the really great positives at the moment, to keep people being engaged in the post Heart of Thorns kind of not lull exactly, but you know when we were all on Twitch watching the announcement and everyone's minds were being blown. There's got to be something to keep people. You can't just go, here's Heart of Thorns.
Yeah.
See you in 9 months. There's got there's having these little odds and sods to keep people going. So, I wonder what this Canthan New Year thing's about, and checking that out. And I think that hopefully that is something we're going to be seeing in the next, over the next few months. We find, random activities that we've forgotten about.
Right. That's what I saw it as something in the meantime to keep us busy. It might not be this giant thing, but that's not. We know that Heart of Thorns is coming, so we don't need something, completely gigantic, except Super Adventure Box. I have a lot of confidence that they're going to give us Super Adventure Box before Heart of Thorns release. I have a lot of confidence that that's going to happen. I know nothing, but go ahead.
But I think festivals are like the best way to go about it. I mean, we were told, I think it was said that there's not going to be any more living story or anything like that. Right. I mean, that makes sense because it kind of wrapped up right as we're going to go into Heart of Thorns. So, yeah, festivals are all we're going to get. And why shouldn't Super Adventure Box be in there? You know, it's
Yeah.
it's what everyone, it's what the community wants.
Not with a new level. I don't think it's gonna have. If it comes back, I don't think it's gonna have a
really?
World 3 because that's not what they're concentrating on developing right now. But
Yeah, I get
nobody
that.
cares. Nobody
Yeah,
cares
exactly.
about a World 3. They just want it back.
I think if people can get through World 2 without dying and in under 3 hours, that'd be. Do you remember? It's like World 2, Level 2, and it just goes on and on and on. It's phenomenally hard, even on normal mode.
That's what
but
I've
it's so beautifully done. Like, do you remember like playing Contra back in the day, and you had like 2 lives, and you had to play the entire game on 2 lives? It's like that. It's infuriating. But there's all these really great mechanics where you have to like dodge in and out and pull particular levers in orders, and it just keeps going. And there's like jumping, and then you get to a big castle mountain thing, and it's like, right now have a boss fight. And if you die, you're going back down to the bottom.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
What did you guys think about the weapon skins? With,
Oh yeah.
The
I really like them.
red Crimson
Yeah.
Lion weapon
Yeah.
skins.
Yeah,
Those
I
were
really
cool.
like them.
pretty sweet. I especially like the horn where you're blowing into the lion's butt. And I'm like, that'd be pretty sweet. It would be like really sweet if like the actual sound effect was not just like a lion roaring, but like a high-pitched lion roar. So
I heard the sound is different. Is it?
It
Is
is
it a lion roar?
It's a lion roar, yeah.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. I mean,
Did you buy it? Do you have it, Ak?
no, I unfortunately spent my only 2 things on the Love Struck Weapon Broadsword before this came out, and I was like, it's like they're only one.
Yeah, I got the actually somebody generously gifted me my favorite one. I don't know how they knew it was my favorite one, but the longbow is my favorite one. It's got like blades on it. I'm like, I don't want to shoot this. I want to just like whack someone with this. It looks like a Klingon batleth. Like I just want to like, slice someone with the longbow.
It's really every time I kind of have a look through one of the new weapon collections, I just get intense weapon envy. I'm just looking at like the 2 scraps I have in my bank. We're just like, no,
No.
I must have them. I must have them. All the shinies for my own. On top of that, what I think is really interesting though is that all of these new recent weapon skins aren't being added to the Black Line Collections tab. Which
not?
No, I had to check the other. There's like Love Struck, Dream Thistle, I think Leyline's in there, and a couple of others. And because you know when you complete those collections, you get like X number of Black Lion tickets.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's. I just thought it's really interesting that none of the more recent skins are part of that collection. Yeah.
What? I wonder if that's a bug or something.
Or there's a way to unlock it, the collection that maybe people haven't discovered yet.
Unless I'm an idiot and I haven't unlocked one of them, so it doesn't unlock the collection. But that seems a bit weird.
I don't know.
Well, no, because I don't have any Love Struck skins, so I don't know. I'm really confused now.
The thing seems quite buggy because a lot of people have collections unlocked and it says they've got this skin out of the collection, but they don't actually have the skin, or they've never bought that skin. So maybe the system is just a bit bugged or something, because I've got a few collections on there that I don't have any of the skins for, but they're unlocked and says I've got like the hammer or something like that, even though my wardrobe hasn't got it in it.
I think that there was a bug with the luminescent armor, wasn't there? Was it on like the glove bit or something where you could have all 3 armor skins, but it wouldn't unlock it in the collection or something? I think I saw on Reddit, but I think that's fixed now, which is something I'm really happy about. I finished my luminescent collection, which I'm super happy. So I can run around in super garish blue and just light up the way in dungeons.
I would go for eventually, if I eventually collect all the stuff to get luminescent armor. I'm not actively working towards it, but it'd be nice. But I would be actively going for it if you could dye it different colors.
Yeah.
If I could have gloomy pink armor, I would be doing nothing but farming for that armor.
Yeah, because I remember you talking about that on your stream. And you can dye it, but it just stays blue basically.
Right.
Unless there's a few dyes like the enameled ones, and I think there's a few like gold-looking skins that kind of change it to like a yellow tint. Yeah. But it's if you could have like pink glowing armor or like really weird glowing black armor or something, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I would go for it in a second if you could change it. What if like the new dyes that they release, because there's the Crimson dye pack, Crimson
Yeah.
and Gold dye pack for the Lunar New Year, and they have some new dyes in there. What if like the new rare dyes would dye the Lumi armor to incentivize people to buy
So-
the new dye
Yeah.
kits from the gem store? That'd
Well,
be pretty
That's the
cool.
point.
There is like a bunch of like new tech coming with this expansion that they keep talking
Yeah.
about. So maybe like we will have that like more dye technology. Which
Yeah,
is
because
great
a lot of
for
people-
dye horse. So like me.
Yeah. Like special
what's-
dyes that could add effects to your armor or something would be amazing. Like kind of
Oh,
adding
Oh, like a
twist.
swirling dye, a glitter dye, and it looks like it's
Legendary
like
dyes,
sparkling.
man.
Whoa.
Dude, yeah, that'd be
Legendary
Legendary ties.
Yeah. Why not?
Yes.
It'd be cool.
Yes,
Legendary ties.
Because
part of the mastery system.
absolutely.
Your
I mean,
mastery award.
one of the continually fantastic things about Guild Wars 2 is that all of the rewards are cosmetic. That grinding for 1,000,000 hours or whatever it is, to get your eternity, it doesn't mean you get a sword that shoots laser beams just every time your character blinks. It's the same as any other ascended sword.
Right.
And that's like the best part of it about it is that like if they add something in that like changes the look of something and maybe it's particularly grindy or a lot of work, no one can really complain about it because it's not like you have to do that for a stat gain or something.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
totally optional.
Exactly.
But when you go around like with all your black lightning swirly dye, and people are like, "That guy's a dick with no
I
life.
require that.
I will kill him for that dye."
I want it. I mean, I was like noting on like other like podcasts for a certain other MMO that I love, but that's very popular. And the sad thing about that one is just the really sad thing is that the gear that you get for the tiers, the only thing that actually gets changed that actually looks like it has any actual work that isn't like a recycled look yet again are the freaking shoulder pads. It's like that's the only part of the gear set that's different. These giant shoulder pads that are all fancy schmancy and have effects and stuff, but then the rest of the thing is just like it's
Plain.
just like a recolor of like spandex armor, and I was like, oh,
Shoulder pads are hench, dude. Yeah. Big shoulders impress the ladies.
I know, but you,
What
you
do
need
the ladies
more,
get?
you know.
That's a
Exactly.
good point.
You need more than just shoulder pads, you know. It's what underneath, you know.
I actually
what-
suggested to Colin at PEC South. He said, what's one feature that you want that's not in the game?" And I said, "Dyeable weapons."
Yeah.
I told him
Yes.
there are so many
Go on.
Black Lion weapon skins that I would have bought, or bought keys to try and get if you could dye them.
Well, yeah. If you look at the what's it called, the Chaos set,
Yeah.
something kind of natively quite pale, where you can dye them and you can accentuate the effects. Like, can you imagine the original Zodiac set dyed,
Ah.
or like the Super Adventure Box set dyed? Even though they did a little bit of that with the
That is the only problem.
the hard
though,
mode.
is right there. Is that like for the Super Adventure Box, the special one is the alternate color.
Yeah, you
so
could
if you
just
can
dye.
dye them, then that
Yeah.
completely
That's true,
offsets
yeah.
that. That's the only problem with it. But there's not that many skins in the game that are like that.
No, that's true,
Pretty
yeah.
unique.
That'd be cool actually having like Twilight but dyeing it like the kind of sunrise gold color or something like that. It'd be quite cool. Like dyeing the kind of hilt or something.
You'd have to, like the hilt would be dyeable or something.
I want a lot more kind of dye channels would be cool because I think I saw a screenshot from like the beta or something, or someone data mined something, but it was like the cough armor like with the flames and stuff, but you could dye the flames different colors, and like that would be awesome. That'd be so cool. Like a
That's
guardian
something
wearing
that's
that with
been
blue
around for
fire.
ages. Yeah,
That'd be so cool.
Green fire or something for like a guardian.
Alex, you mentioned the chaos weapons and how cool that would be. 'Cause they're just
Yeah.
kind of white, and so if you could change the color and then it could glow whatever color you want. I immediately thought of the chaos weapons. I thought of the chaos hammer when I read that the Revenant has ranged hammer attacks.
Yeah.
How epic would that be?
Oh,
You know how
God,
many
the Revenant.
Thor Revenants they're gonna be throwing the hammer?
Thor's
gonna be
fur paw.
So
But yeah,
Revenant.
Yeah.
The Revenant.
And that
Great
class
segue
is
there,
so
Jack.
good.
I know, like the those is it Roy or Rory? I've completely forgotten his name. I'm really sorry, mate. But he put out that blog post yesterday, didn't he? Just going into
Roy, yeah.
some of the really awesome bits and pieces, and I'm so excited. I don't even know where to start. So
It
So
sounds
they-
so
as far as-
different from other
They
classes.
they said they really tried to make it, they tried to fill the gap and try to not just make it another class, but tried to make it very different, play very different, have different mechanics. I mean, it has an energy bar. We haven't seen that since Guild Wars 1.
I think because when I was first reading it, I wasn't worried, but it was like, oh well, if it's gonna be so separate from all the other classes so far, then everyone's gonna play a Revenant, or it's gonna have its own little niche thing, and it wouldn't feel like it fit with all of them. But then there was a lot of points in the blog post that were talking about how they were going to apply these kind of things to specializations, and they showed off new conditions as well, which were going to be applied to current classes as well. So stuff like that is awesome. The fact that they're going to not only are the specializations going to be different when the expansion comes out, but they're also going to add a couple of these new things to the existing classes as well. So straight away, without doing anything, you're going to have a few little things added to your class, which is awesome.
Taunt sounds so crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I
like-
could just see all of these mesmers and elementalists just suddenly running towards the boss, and they're going,
It's-
no,
it's-
no, no,
it's
no,
like
no, no, no,
so
no.
much
It's kind of
trouble.
it's kind of like the opposite of fear almost.
It is the opposite. Yeah, it's totally the
just turned
opposite of fear.
So I can't wait
Taunt?
to someone has taunt, and they run up, and then straight away as soon as they're free of taunt, just apply fear to them and just. I know so many people. I can't
So
wait for that.
screaming, "I hate you!"
But no, what I think's I was well, one of the great things about this energy kind of thing is that they're bringing something back that Guild Wars 1 had with the monk, and that was the aspect of these channeled skills. And what used to do in Guild Wars 1 was you sacrificed a portion of your energy bar to constantly upkeep skills, and in some case it actually negated your energy regeneration. It slowly went down to 0. And having that energy bar there where you can activate a constant effect or a constant skill and have it slowly sap your energy, so eventually you need to turn it off. And I assume you build up energy by just attacking somebody with your weapon skills.
Yeah,
and so,
it might be similar to Life Force on the Necromancer, where you deplete it in Death Shroud, but just through attacking folk you build it back up again or something.
And then having your kind of your less potent utility skills use a little bit of it, and then your ultimate badass skills kind of go, I'll have this entire energy bar for me, thank you.
Yeah.
But then you can swap your legend that you're channeling, and I think it automatically goes to 50%.
Yeah, it goes
There's probably
halfway.
then a cooldown before you can swap back. So you're swapping the two legends is kind of like swapping your weapon on other classes, because the Revenant can only have one weapon out. They can't swap weapons, but they can
can't
swap.
weapon swap.
No, they cannot weapon swap, but they can legend swap, which swaps your heal, utility, and elite skills.
Yeah.
So your weapon swap is on the other side of your skill bar.
Plus, a lot
Revenant.
of people were kind of. I think a few people had speculated that maybe they had a kind of similar system to Ranger Pets, where you can go out and channel these spirits to use or something like that. I don't know if it's going to be exactly like that, but if you look at the screenshot that they showed of the kind of the skill bar and stuff, you can see there's up arrows that you could click to select different spirits and stuff to have them. So there's going to be a lot of combinations I think people are going to be able to do by choosing different spirits to swap between. It's really
would
cool.
think that while it would be cool if it was a lore thing, you have to go out into the world and kind of find these legends. I don't think it will be. I kind of think it'll just be if you have enough skill points, you can unlock them.
Yeah, because if it automatically swaps their heal and utilities and elite skills, what are you going to spend skill points on? Because it's going to be based on the kind of spirit you're channeling to decide that stuff. So I reckon it'll be that Revenant spends skill points on,
right?
Instead of the heal and utilities and stuff like that.
I don't know. I mean, you know how if you when you start a new character these days, you don't get you don't actually get any traits at all. So you have to go around the world and unlock them. I think that'd be a really, really cool idea. Especially you could tie it into the lore mastery system, that you progress along a lore progression. Say you want to progress Dwarven lore, and when you get to the end of that mastery bar, you unlock Jalis Ironhammer. If you want to progress your lore about Torment or something, and when you get to the end of that, you unlock Malix or Canthan lore, and you get Shiro. Orion lore, you get Vizier Kilbron or something like that. So tying it into
I think it would more likely be tied into specialization, because that's kind of character specific, whereas the mastery system is more account wide.
Oh yeah,
So I think it would be more the mastery system. But then is the Revenant going to get a specialization on top of being a Revenant, because all the other classes are getting specializations?
It should.
Will their specialization possibly be another legend?
I wonder what that would do, though. Yeah, maybe
Right.
it's a specific legend, but then would you be able to swap legends if you're specialized into one legend?
Right.
I don't know.
It's the
strange.
ultimate legend. It's like, and then you
It's-
can only
yeah,
use
they-
one.
I can't think they would want to like. I don't think they would want to kind of give any specific character from the lore that kind of, upper hand over the other characters that they're using for spirits or whatever.
Right.
So I'm not too sure. Maybe you specialize into one.
Dwayna,
then
Balthazar.
that'd be kind of
I want to
I don't know. Maybe they could do something like you choose one spirit to kind of focus on if you're specialized, and then maybe you can weapon swap or something. I don't know, just to kind of keep it kind of even. I'm not too sure.
I mean, I guess that does open up future specializations. Say if, for example, you take the 6 human gods. If you choose Dwayna, you become more of a support / healing aspect. If you choose Balthazar, you become a lot more tanky and warrior kind of fashion. Melandru for kind of ranger types, etc., etc., etc. So, I mean, I'm just wildly speculating here.
Yeah.
But there's so much room for a lot of cool stuff to do with the Revenant, and I'm excited. I'm really excited
honestly,
for the Revenant.
The Revenant and the lore that is behind it is one of the things I am most excited for Heart of Thorns. Really, like, I cannot wait to see what the other I need to know what the other legends are. I need to know how this class is going to get introduced through the story. Obviously, Ritlock is the first Revenant, so how, when we create a Revenant, when Heart of Thorns comes out, is there going to be some little extra story as to, like, what is this class?
Yeah.
Like, what exactly...
That is really interesting. I'm not too sure. Maybe, I was thinking maybe the Revenant could be something you unlock. Like, it wouldn't be very far into it, but maybe you have to play a bit of the expansion, talk to Ritlock or something, and that unlocks the ability to create a Revenant or something. Because
I like that.
And then, because then they could just be like, right, yeah, and after that you do the normal personal story and the new Revenant and stuff like that. But it's so they don't have to shoehorn something into the personal story of that character. It's just, so they can do the explaining a bit easier.
Maybe you know how you got your 5 racial starting zones, right? You keep all of those, but when you choose to create a Revenant in the character creation, there's a brand new area in the Heart of Thorns expansion, like a level 1 area where you do your starting boss. Because the whole idea behind the Revenant, and I talked about this in one of my videos, is that it comes from the idea that they're spirits or manifestations returning from like beyond the veil. It comes from various like French and Latin words. So if you had an area, for example, where it throws you straight into all of this lore behind, where Ritlock's gone, where he's coming back from, and you meet Ritlock there like you did with, how you met Kaith in the dream in the Sylvari starting story. And some kind of boss fight happens, and you get like wrenched back into the world. And wouldn't you know, you end up level 2 in Queensdale, just going, Queensdale is Crichton's breadbasket.
I like
Beautiful
that.
voice,
I like that a lot.
Oh.
The beginning instance is different if you choose a Revenant. I like that a lot.
Because I think certainly in the guild, there's been a lot of talk about how potentially law-breaking just dropping a Revenant into the world is, because Heart of Thorns takes place 3 or 4 years after the beginning of Guild Wars 2.
Right.
If you look at your thing,
It does
so
actually make a lot of sense. Yeah, it really does.
And it's something they did in Factions and Nightfall as well, that you begin in your own little separate area. And even though it was essentially to boost you to level 20 so you could get on with the story, having that kind of approach where you treat the Revenant as a brand new entity, I think, please, it'd be really cool, because the thing is, even so, if someone says, right, I want to buy Guild Wars 2, but I want to buy the expansion as well, it's like, if you buy Heart of Thorns with Guild Wars 2, it says, right, you can taste 20 minutes of Heart of Thorns just by creating this new character. And from everything that's gone on, people are going to love the hell out of this expansion. So you just go, right, here's your 20 minutes of Heart of Thorns and all of this awesome stuff that's been going on. And then they throw you out back into Queensdale or into the Wayfarer Foothills or whatever. It's like, right.
All right, now you earn your right to go to the Goober Jungle.
You know? Yeah.
I would love it
cool.
if they actually had what you're talking about, like a unique little mini instance for the Revenant class. It'd be so cool if they also actually made 5 new intro cinematic things where they could actually use Ritlock as the Revenant, kind of interact into each of the 5 races that way to kind of introduce you that way, just with those wonderful cinematics they use.
Right, I forgot about
you could have a totally
beginning
new
cinematic as well. Yeah, that could totally explain things too.
That's what I want.
It's interesting though, because if you choose a Solvari, you're going to be in the dream. This is you being born.
You can't be a Revenant
so
in the Solvari dream before Zaytan, before the Shadow of the Dragon, because the Shadow of the Dragon's dead now.
Exactly. Plus, okay, they could maybe tail something on it, because they have to. If there's a new player that wants to play a Revenant or something, buys the game, it's the first time they're seeing it, they're going to need to still get the explanation of the fact that they're in the dream and this is them being born as a Solvari, but they can't throw Ritlock into the dream. And you're going to be doing that first.
By the way,
and you'd be fighting, you'd be in combat before you leave that kind of tutorial to then maybe meet Ritlock to explain what you're doing. So that's why I think maybe you have to play the first section of the story of Heart of Thorns to unlock it, because then anyone who's coming new to the game is going to buy the expansion. They're limited to just the base kind of classes. And so they have to play the original story, then play the first thing to get an explanation of the Revenant, and so that way there's no kind of risk of people not understanding or getting kind of 2 weird stories on the go at the same time.
Yeah, at the same time though, if you do buy a game 3 years after it's been out, you have to accept the fact that there's some, there's been a lot more content added to the game.
Yeah, some catch up to do.
They could just kind of add a wee note. When you click on the Revenant and character select or character creation, it kind of adds a note saying this is probably more recommended for people who had played through the kind of personal story before or something.
Yeah.
And then throw in a little tutorial, and then you're out in the world
This is
to
an
level up.
advanced class. You shouldn't start with the Revenant.
Noob, you gotta choose this noob.
Well, because the thing is, even on the base of it, Revenant does not sound like an easy class to play. You're heavy armored, but you've only got a medium health pool, and it sounds like what you're going to be relying on a lot. You're going to be relying on conditions. You're going to be relying on cripples. You're going to be relying on chills and fears and all the rest of it. And you're going to have a very comprehensive understanding of how the condition system works in the game. So I think you're absolutely right by just going. You can if you want, but this class might not be the best thing for you, because
not recommended for new players or something.
I've got to be honest. I jumped into Warcraft in 2009 or something, and I saw Death Knight. And I was like, yeah, that's the one for me. And I just thought locking it behind a level 55 cap of another character, I just thought it was a complete dick move. I was just like, I mean, I know that apparently it starts you off at some other point as well, but there's a whole argument you could have about vanilla Warcraft and all the rest of it. I just thought it was kind of it looked like there was this really awesome class there, and I was like, I want to play it. I want to play an awesome class.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. The interesting thing about bringing that up with the way that they're going to be doing this Revenant thing is that by when they did that, they kind of made a big deal saying, well, we have a hero class, but they never actually know what the heck a hero class is, because they can make it more OP than all the other classes, and it has a special starting zone that teaches you what the heck your Death Knight is, why you're there, and everything else. But for all future classes that are coming, like the Monk, they totally skipped that, and they just had a Pandaren starting zone, and they didn't actually teach you anything specifically lore-wise about the class. So they kind of were like, yeah, hero class, let's not talk about that anymore. It's not a class. Whereas Rena said from the best thing, oh yeah, you can play the Revenant from level 1 onwards. So it's kind of interesting, and just like the way that this game is set up, that you can add lots of classes to it without having to kind of obsess that much about it. And Alex, just as you're saying, like having that one class at level 55 and all the other ones you can play in the beginning, it's really weird. It's very
you feel
weird.
cut off, and I know that even though obviously the Heart of Maguma is going to be a level 80 map, you're going to be expected to go in there with a level 80 character. They still don't want to you don't want to section people off. You don't want new players to feel like you can't go there. No, as soon as you can make your way there, through the Silver Waste or wherever you have to get through to actually go there. I'm still not 100% sure where the entrance point to the Heart of Maguma is.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
But you okay, if your level 6 character can't make it through the Silver Wastes, then you're not going to the Heart of Maguma yet. But as soon as you can, go right ahead.
Go for it. Yeah.
But what's going to be interesting though is if the Revenant is created, eventually ends up in the open world like all of your other characters do, you're not going to have any traits. You're going to go and have to earn your traits. I don't think there'd be any point, because if you got a brand new Revenant and you get thrown straight into a level 80 zone, you're going to die. So they're going to have to go around the world anyway, picking up their new traits. So, and it's going to give people an opportunity to be able to learn how to play the Revenant properly. Because, I think I said this in the previous video once the Revenant had been announced. It is going to be, people are going to be jumping into World v World and PvP with it in the first couple of weeks, and it's going to be hideously overpowered. All of these, no, it is that, and it's not a bad thing. The community is going to have a lot of fun with all of these specializations which just do far too much damage, these conditions which just completely screw everybody, and everyone's going to have a ton of fun. And
why am I running towards the enemy? No, I can't stop. No.
The thing is,
we're only friends. Yeah.
But that initial period of live class balancing, there's going to be so much great machinima that the community are going to produce. So I don't really care that it's going to be ridiculous. I've forgotten what I was talking about. Yeah, they're going to have to earn traits, and then they're going to have to dive in.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing Druid specialization first. I can't fucking wait for that.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I really want to play as a Revenant. Like, I'm going to be so excited for it, but at the same time I want to experience the story and all this stuff. So do I do that on my main, or do I focus on getting my Revenant up? I'm starting to do PvP all the time just to get loads of tomes of knowledge, just to try and get like an instant 80 pretty much.
Well, see, I'm not. I'm going to level my Revenant up like just through leveling naturally, just to like learn it. And
that's
it's not just an instant 80 with that. Okay, now I may never play it because I just go back to one of my alts or my guardian. That is a really good point with the specializations, because again, we've said this before, there's people who only play their main. That's all. They're not an alt person. They just play their main and that's it. So they have a reason to level up their main now. So if you are a necromancer, you're going to want to, or better yet, a ranger, you're going to want to make a druid immediately if that's your main, so you're going to be concentrated on that, and that's not going to be instant. That's going to be, you're going to have to work to get the specialization. So people are going to be working towards that, whereas the altaholics are going to go immediately for Revenant because they need one immediately.
Oh yeah.
But then people are, so it's going, you're not just going to have, you're going to have a billion Revenants right off the bat. But it's not going to be as bad as if that was the only new thing you could do.
Yeah, I think the specializations have made it less likely to just see an ocean of Revenants everywhere. I think it was a really good move, not only just because people have been using the same builds for 3 years or whatever when it comes out. It's going to add like an extra kind of dimension to what am I going to do today? Am I going to play my main and progress that, or am I going to play the new class? Because I think it was something I was really worried about, is if they added a new race or a new class before the announcement, like I was worried that it was just going to be, oh great, everyone's a Tengu, or okay, everyone's this, and this is a really good way to bypass that kind of risk, by adding that extra kind of dimension to the existing classes. And I'm worried that I might not like the Necromancer specialization.
No!
Sorry, the cat attacked my feet.
Because like I'm gonna want the new thing, I want to play around with the specialization bit. What if it's something I don't like doing? Like what if it's super like I play a power necromancer, so if it's super condition based, I'm not gonna enjoy it as much and all this kind of thing. But like, because they're doing it for every single class and there's a brand new class, there's there's not much risk there. I'm always gonna find something I want to do.
Right. See, I have the
that's-
problem where I'm an altaholic and I have an 80 of every class now. So not only do I have to level up my Revenant to get to 80, which is awesome because I
Specialize everything.
love the level up process. That's
Specialize
why I
everything.
have 980s because I love going through that process. It's very rewarding for me. So not only do I have the Revenant, but it's like, so am I going to have to go through every single class now and get 9 new specializations?
Yeah.
How fun is that going to be? Hopefully it's really fun because, yeah.
It's-
That's the
Altaholics.
thing that like the thing that I'm so jived with the specialization thing and why this expansion blew me away was that they've like because like a lot of people are really curious what these specializations are going to be like as far as we're just getting one weapon, but they're not just giving you one weapon because the ranger as the example they got a name for these specializations,
Yeah.
and they have also said that you're getting new skills. Elite skills and traits plural. So I don't think it's gonna be like one new trait bar. Like it's gonna feel like a totally new class.
Yeah, the
and
mechanics are completely different when you not
Exactly.
completely, but it's not a new class, but it's going to feel very different. It's
Yeah,
not just
yeah.
I got some new skills and a new weapon.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
if you're looking for a party or something, if they add raids, 10-man raids or something, there's going to be people wanting, we need a ranger and we need a druid and we
Oh,
need
yeah.
this, and it's cool because it's going to be like if you're specialized or not, it's going to make quite a big difference to what you're going to be able to do if you're kind of focused in on one thing. Like an elementalist that's maybe like an arcane ist or something isn't going to be able to blast fire fields as well or blast
Right.
water fields, so
Yeah.
they're going to have a totally different kind of role in like an instance, so it's really cool.
What's really interesting is those specializations you can insta switch out when
Yeah.
you're out of combat. So it's we need a druid for this part. We need your standard ranger for a DPS section of a dungeon or whatever.
Yeah.
That's going to be cool. And one of the things that's really great about the specializations, not in terms of like the abilities or anything, but in terms of the game's longevity, one of the core things about Guild Wars 2 has always been that it's not a grindy game. And by and large, that's true. There's people complain a little bit about RNG and the fact that you have to, as Corvus knows, you recently finished Frostfang.
Yes.
No, it's like
And Revenants use axe.
Yeah,
I know.
Good
I'm so happy
choice.
about that.
but the thing
I
is,
didn't waste anything.
But the thing is, there's always that little bit of a final kind of, I guess, to call it grind to make sure you got your last few tier 6 materials. When you take that material aspect out of 9 new specializations, you remove the grind and the kind of, or whatever you want to call it, you remove the familiarity from playing the same content over again. So when you go back to Queensdale or back to Snowden Drifts or wherever, but you're playing your specialized guardian or your specialized warrior or whatever, you're experiencing all this content in a very new way for the first time again.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be so cool.
It's gonna be
I
awesome.
I need to know what the Guardian specialization is. I need them to tell me I get longbow. Please give me longbow.
Yeah, I was just like and I'm like still so eternally blown away that they basically decided it's like we're gonna give you a new class and 8 more others. It's like what the
Yeah,
heck?
exactly.
What? It's like pretty much like 9 new classes practically. It's like holy.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
if we
really
don't get new
hope
races,
that,
okay.
I hope the kind of specialization mechanics are, I don't know. I mean, it would make sense for them not to be too different because I think I've said it before that like
Yeah.
it's, you don't want to change the class so much that it kind of loses the role it has or something like that, or balance it too much that you kind of, because if say like they have the warrior super, maybe they make it like really healy in some, or defensive, and you could basically just swap between specialized and not, and you've covered all kind of bases. Like, you can do anything. They still need to have like, we need this guy to heal a bit more, like we need a guardian, we can't just specialize our warriors over and over again. But at the same time, I do want it to be quite different just so it does feel super fresh.
Yeah.
But I'm not too sure how they're going to implement that like effectively without kind of blurring the lines too much.
Right.
I don't know, because they could make like, I don't know, a necromancer could be specialized to be a bit more squishy but then have a higher damage output, being really sneaky and stuff, but then that could blur the lines with a thief. They could make a thief a bit less high damage but a bit more tanky, but then it's like a really crap warrior or something. Like you need to it's almost like they should kind of choose a specific aspect of a class and just push it into that a lot further.
Yeah.
To kind of make it fill like a really specific role, but it's really good at that.
Because like
if you want. Sorry, you want the classes to feel different enough.
Sorry. But they're kind of doing that, pushing that way with the druid anyway, because there's the petting zoo ranger build where you have all your spirits and follow you around. It looks really, really cute, and they're tapping into that kind of nature aspect of the class and expanding on it. It's gonna be cool.
I just want like amazing mechanics. Like I was thinking of what the Necro could have, and you know how typical Necros are really annoying because as soon as you nearly kill them, they just go into Death Shroud and they've got another health bar. Maybe something awesome like, I don't know, you have a really low base health, like stupidly low, like, and maybe most of your time is going to be spent in Death Shroud, and so your health is almost constantly draining. And so you have to attack things to build your health back up actively while doing damage and stuff. It'd be a really cool, risky, high damage kind of super squishy thing to play.
Since they're getting great sword, I could see that happening. I mean, you're not going to get a great sword and be do more condition damage. It just
you're going to be power. You're going to be like full on like. I am a demon. Evil. Oh, Skeletor. Yeah. I'm Skeletor. But yeah, because Corvus. It's a really great idea for them to, because they've like already been like saying that they want to not like make a full on Trinity, but they do want to make kind of more like if you want to be tankish, then you can have a more tankish impact, or if you want to be more healing, have more healing impact. So I could see, and I'd love to see these specializations really try to push each class to do like one certain thing really well. Like for like a warrior, like maybe they actually give a pole arm and he becomes really, really tanky, like super high armor and just like almost like no ranged attacks, and he's just like really kind of tankish. And then maybe the guardian becomes really like, they really emphasize the healing aspect that you can do with a guardian, or et cetera, et cetera. It would be really cool if they tried to push like a certain aspect.
They can't balance it like loads. Like, okay, the thief works really well close range, so when you specialize it is really good long range high damage stuff. Like, because doing that would be fine for now, but when they because they said they were going to add more specializations, they're going to need more options to do things, and that's why I think like this, like for the first specializations, they're going to choose something about a class and push into that like loads, and then next time they'll choose a different aspect of that class, like the guardian heal, and they'll make it like really, really healy and choose something else the next time, because they need stuff to expand on. If they're just kind of evening out the classes, so a thief gets more health and whatever, like it's not going to feel that great when they have to think of more stuff. So I don't know, specializations are honestly probably the story and the music and stuff, but like they're really high up on my list. But to be fair, everything's up on my list about Heartthorns. I'm so excited.
Because like what if like for instance like if like a Mesmer, if it is indeed getting like a shield, what if they try to make like a light armor tank, so to speak, kind of like the Necro can be, and like they use like
control skills.
And like if they make it like that, like Chrono Mage, I think you guys are talking about.
Chronomancer, I think, is what like, Mesmer's gonna be.
They can use like time shifting stuff to be more tankish or somehow or something. I don't know. It'd be kind of funky and kind of cool though.
There's actually already some capacity for the Mesmer to do that. I mean, obviously you've got Time Warp that speeds up everyone's attacks, but there's Longsword 3. If you combine it with Longsword 3 and Longsword 2, so Longsword 3 teleports you straight into where one of your clones is and creates a clone back where you were, and it also stuns your target as well, so you can fire off Longsword 2, get a whole ton of damage in, and then just dodge away, which is kind of cool.
That's cool.
There's just so much possibilities for these bloody specializations. It's like, will you please tell us all? And they're like, no, just a little drop for now. Next week, a little drop. And a little drop. We don't want you getting full.
Let's move on to we're nearing our hour. Let's
oh God, are we?
On last week's Point of Interest, we saw the first live preview of Gliding. And what did you guys think about that?
I thought it was amazing, right? Because usually when there's a new set of armor that's data mined or something like that, people are like, oh, it's probably going to be in the gem store. But then as soon as they showed off gliding, everyone was like, yeah, we're going to get gem store wings and stuff like that.
Yeah, everyone was like
everyone
really
was super
excited.
excited about it.
Gems. Because one of the things that looks so great is that it's free gliding. I mean, obviously you're not going to be able to glide out and about in kind of vanilla Guild Wars 2, which it will soon be known as, I think, which is really cool. But you can just go anywhere, and the only other MMO that tried to implement flying was Aeon, also published by NCSoft, and it was rubbish because. You could fly for about 5 seconds, and you could only fly like around the towns. It was pointless. It was a pointless mechanic, and apparently they fixed it. But who gives a shit, to be honest now? So, but just watching, I forgot her name. Just watching her just fly everywhere and trying to like break out of the map and just go everywhere and fly to skill points and fly up to the outposts. I was like, yeah, it's gonna be cool, and there's gonna be people are gonna be able to create like flying schools and flying in formation and
oh my gosh, the videos, the machinima that's gonna come out of this with people like sync flying and sync hitting. Oh my gosh,
it feels like a kind of like a console game, where you you've got these tools and you can just kind of do what you want with it. It feels so open, and I mean a lot of people were annoyed because the kind of jumping mushroom things, it was like a press F and you jump up to like a predetermined spot. But it's not like that. It's not like you have this spot that you stand in and press F to jump off and glide. You kind of control it, and you go to like a fixed destination. It's totally free. Any spot in the jungle that you want, you can jump off and start gliding after. And the stamina thing, I think, is a really cool way to pay stuff, because I think they did confirm that if you like spend your mastery points in gliding, you're going to be able to fly without that, or you're going to have a super huge
the bar will get longer. The one that they showed off, they said it wasn't the beginning, it wasn't like the very first tier, it was like the second tier of it. And I don't know why they wouldn't have showed off like a higher tier, but that like she jumped off and it sounded like she was hitting spacebar to bring out the glider, but it didn't come out right away. She kind of had to spam it, but that's because it was at a low level.
Yeah,
so
you have to fall for a little bit. I think did not say that maybe it would be automatic or something like that.
If you level it up high enough, they never said that it would be automatic. But I would guess that if you max out, it's your exploration mastery track, which also includes mushroom jumping. Which there's more stuff. There's like mushroom healing, mushroom speed, There's all these different kinds of mushrooms. It's not just jumping, and that's something you can level up through the mastery system as well. And then so the gliding, once you level it up, I'm sure you'll get a bigger stamina bar. Your wings will come out immediately, if not perhaps at the highest level automatically, maybe. Though that wouldn't make sense, because if you might want to just jump, you might want to just jump off. So I'm sure that it would just like one quick hit, and your glider will come out.
What was really interesting as well was they were talking about once. Obviously, like you say, it's the exploration track, so your endurance is going to be able to take you to the parts that you wouldn't otherwise be able to reach. So you can imagine
that.
So you work your way all through the Maguma jungle, and then you have to go right the way back to the beginning to fly to a place that everyone could see when they first started with something really cool.
How do I get up there?
Because another thing that they mentioned as well was updrafts as well, and kind of heat pockets that are just gonna, so you fly over them and suddenly it just boosts you up however many feet onto like the next kind of area to kind of fly around and get to these other ideas. And like I said, it's so great, like that they're not doing what Corvus was saying, that they just put you essentially on a wire and fly you to another little piece of the map.
Right. It's free.
They were saying also with the gliding that they intentionally wanted your wings to come out like a bit of a delay, so that way there's a little more strategy in when you're gliding, so that it's like not like an instant like that, because you really kind of have to put a bit more thought into basically when you have to tap it, so it's a bit more active.
Yeah,
I think
that's cool, because you could be standing somewhere, see somewhere you want to glide to, try to do it, but you're too low, and so
Yeah.
you have to look around for a higher bit of ground to try and jump off to actually reach it and stuff like
Right.
that. It's just, it's cool. It's so cool.
They
I love-
actually said they're taking inspiration from Zelda, Metroid,
Yeah.
Castlevania, those kind of adventure games, which obviously have their mechanics sorted out, and they're doing it right, obviously.
Yeah.
So they're taking inspiration from that, and the fact that it's not just your number that you're leveling up. You know, oh, I'm level 10 now, so in gliding, so that means I can get over there. It's, you know, you can always see the goal over there. You can always see that skill point or that mastery point. How do I get over there? As you learn new abilities, that is when you can get over there. And so it is this sense of progression that's not just a number or an experience bar. It's an actual ability you're using to get over there. I love that.
It does seem
And,
super.
you know-
It just feels quite Zelda-y. Like, you know,
Yes.
it kind of reminds me of the Deku Leaf and Wind Waker and stuff like that. You know, you can jump off. You know, you choose when to kind of use the item, and you know, you glide down and stuff like that. You find pockets of air. It's just cool, and I don't know. I think it's gonna make the world, you know, because Guild Wars 2 already does a really good job of the world feeling kind of different to how normal MMOs do. You know, MMOs are quite restrictive usually, and Guild Wars 2 isn't at all, but this is like opening up even more. You know, you can look up and see, like, I'm gonna get there, you know, and we've not really had vertical maps before in the game. Obviously, you know, Dry Top was kind of like that, and the Silver Waste Jumping Puzzle was quite like that, but this is like a whole new level of looking around for places to go, and we've not had that for a while, you know, especially if you've explored the world a lot.
Can you just
think
imagine
about
that?
stuff.
Can you just imagine that? You know, Colin was saying in the presentation, like when you get to the top of the highest tree, what do you want to do? You want to jump.
Jump.
If you have to jump from a specific place, you have to base jump all the way down to the bottom level of the Maguma jungle, and then pull out your wings
And
at the last
then
second.
pull out your
and
wings.
Then,
Yes.
and then that's when your flying puzzle starts. So you can
Oh,
just keep
that's so cool.
and then as you come closer and closer to
Yeah.
it's
So
awesome.
cool.
It's like
I just can't wait to see how freaking adorable Char are gonna be when they're gliding. Because like kitties with like a glider. Because like, you know, like Alex, when you were holding up your cat there, just like imagine that, just, you know, bigger with like a little glider.
Oh,
Like
they
little
are going to
fuzzy
make
kitties.
so much bank selling wings in the gem store.
I know, dragon wings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, cultural wings would be awesome, like kind of
like
leaves.
racial
for
wings.
the Solari.
Yeah. You know,
It's
actually,
good-
and I was just gonna quickly say that the really cool thing I like about this gliding thing is that it's a really great way to. It's kind of like mounts, but not mounts.
Yeah.
And I really love the way that they could maybe do other kinds of, you know, mount type things in the future, because this is a cool way to. It really, I mean, for me, like it totally does like tick the kind of mount itch, because it's like a mount, but it's kind of not, and it's just, I really like it. It's a really cool way to kind of
'cause,
give
like,
you flying and not flying. It's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
the problem with mounts in other games is that you end up not walking anywhere. You don't see the world properly like that, and so, because this is restricted to a specific area, and it's not like you're free flying. You're descending all the time. So it's like it's a cool way of adding a new way to explore stuff. Kind of like lets you fly around, which is cool anyway. Without taking away from the game at all, and you know, you're actually focusing more on the environment to look for places like that than you would normally, and it would be worse if it was just kind of general flying, because you just
You're not
wouldn't
just
have to look at
flying
anything.
over everything like all the other the vanilla Guild Wars 2 is just, you know, it's flat. You know, there's places up high you can go, but other than that it's just flat. So if you could fly over all that, you would be, you know, skipping content or missing the experience. But the Heart of Maguma is so vertical and so dense and so lush, and there's so many places to go that the gliding is exploring the map rather than skipping it. You're flying through this environment.
I think one of the problems of implementing the flying in vanilla GW2 as well is that all maps are instanced as well. So you can imagine when you get to the edge, and they have to create
the
like
skywall.
this giant
That's a good point.
As cool as it would be to have an entirely persistent, and you know, you can walk from one end to the other of Tyria, I think we're a bit late in the day to start just going, guys, can you just like redesign your entire engine just because you put these wings in?
Right.
One thing I was thinking about the new zones as well is, I mean, we're in the middle of the jungle. There's not going to be any or many waypoints around, right? So it's going to be cool progressing your kind of masteries high enough so that you can fly around and find like shortcuts across the map. So you need to quickly travel to the end or the other end. You know, you could fly, you know, to this thing that, you know, you walk up and then you're at the top, and then you can kind of glide to another bit, which is just like a way to avoid the stuff in the middle if you're trying to get to one part of the map. Because I can't imagine they're going to add a bunch of waypoints. You know, they've been playing around with stuff.
Very limited. Like even when they came out with South Sun, the waypoints, you know, if you want to get to the middle of the map, there's not just a real simple way to get there. They're strategic, and it's lore-wise. They're at the base camps on the edge.
Exactly.
So I can't imagine that the Maguma jungle is going to be full of waypoints. That doesn't make sense.
And they did a similar thing, obviously, with the Silver Waste as well. You know, you have one kind of the base camp bit, and you have to do an event to get tunnels to travel across it. So something similar to that. It's all going to aid so much in terms of like exploring and knowing your way around. You have to learn your way around this place to know the fastest route to here if you need to quickly get there for whatever reason.
It's just new and fresh.
Yeah, totally. It's awesome.
Should we mention at least one of the last things? Dinosaurs are coming.
Dinosaurs, man. It's gonna be so good.
Dinosaur-like creatures, as I've gotten into heated debates with people about how certain species need to have feathers, and I will fight you forever.
I hated the Tarnished Coast in Guild Wars 1 in Eye of the North. I went back there to record some footage for a video I was doing, and in the end I had to give up because I was so bad at it. I couldn't get anywhere without dying, and I was just like, yeah, so it wasn't me just sucking, this is just ridiculously hard, and so I'm sure it's just me just sucking. But.
The new enemies, though, like the big ones, look so good. Yeah, it's gonna be amazing to fight those things. And they could add dinosaur, like, ranger pets and mini pets for fun.
That's the big question, is if we're getting new ranger pets.
Man.
Ranger dino pets.
It's a master.
Or no, actually, rangers turning into dinosaurs. Come on. Please. Colin, do it. Please. I will sculpt a giant effigy to you if you do, please.
I think that is a good place to leave it.
Oh, Rob Cryo, no, it's the end.
We don't have to end. But I fear we're going to go on for another 2 hours.
We just record next episode, but just now, and just kind of keep talking.
Bonus episode.
We need to do GuildGab live, man.
Yeah, we're going to make that happen. I have to get all my streaming settings set up for GuildGab, and we will do it.
So
we will do it live.
We all need to meet in Germany for that big Germany game con thing. Because I want to see Germany.
Yes, there's a lot of things coming up. There's Rezzed, there's PAX East. Festival's coming up. What's that?
Peachy, are you going to PAX East? Will you be available for people to talk to and say hello?
I will not be going to PAX East. Unfortunately, sad face. I will, however, next Tuesday, I will be at ArenaNet Studios. Next week. On Tuesday.
Oh, sweet.
What? Oh my god. So I will be playing the Heart of Thorns demo next week. I think it's good. We don't really have many details at all, but I think we're going to be playing the version that's going to be available at Resident PAX East, because it will be playable. So everybody who's going to Res or PAX East, we will get to play Heart of Thorns.
Yeah, if you're coming to Res, by the way, come and find me in Corvus, because we're going to be there.
Yes.
And, come and say hello.
Rub our hair. Worship us like the gods we are.
Yes.
Yeah.
And touch your chests.
But there's going to be a dev session as well, and there's going to be a couple of the Arena guys there, and they're going to be talking about hopefully some like really new juicy exclusive stuff. And then Peach will be like, well, I knew about that a couple of weeks ago. The ArenaNet employees.
She'll cackle maniacally.
No, it's a super honor, and I can't believe it. I really wish I could go to PAX East, but it's just not in the cards right now. Yeah. And hopefully we will. I don't know when we're going to get a release date. I kind of doubt we're going to get an actual release date at one of these events, but
yeah, I think they'll have to do the kind of open beta first, just to kind of get a good
to
idea.
see kind of what point they're at, right? Like if they, you know what, that's a good point. Yeah, do an open. They'll probably do an open beta. You know, then they can kind of assess where they are in the technical aspect, and then maybe they can better plan a release date.
In the original announcement, and certainly in the interview that you did with Colin afterwards, they weren't talking a huge amount of time between beta and now and beta. And
No,
beta
no, I don't
release.
think I don't think we're looking at like next year or something. That's ridiculous. But
because the original betas for Guild Wars 2 were started April time, or at least the open betas, the beta weekend started April time, and the game was out by August.
right,
Yeah.
right.
So
I think it won't be long after PAX East and Res that the kind of open beta stuff starts, or at least they announce stuff and tell us dates where the beta is going to be for people just to kind of log in, because they'll need to do stress tests and stuff, make sure things aren't broken, people aren't able to fly to places they shouldn't be allowed and all this stuff, because there's a lot of testing, and a lot of people at ArenaNet aren't going to be as evil as some of the players are in terms of trying to break out, do things like that. So
but that's what we're there for, isn't it? The beta testing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we'll probably find out soonish.
Yes, exciting stuff coming up, you guys. So, hopefully we will try our best to do a GuildGab next week. I get messages a lot saying I love GuildGab, please more GuildGab episodes. So, sometimes it's hard for all four of us to be free, so that's why there's sometimes we miss a week. But we are
and
really
you've had your channel stuff as well, so problems
I've been
with
sorting
the
that out. That is
uploads and
all. My
stuff.
channel is back in good standing. Now, so
all good.
So we are going to try and do GuildGab weekly. We are going to try to stream it live. Lots of exciting stuff coming up. Super hype. Please, please, please click on the annotations and go and check out everybody's awesome channels. All of us do Guild Wars 2 videos, music, guides.
Yeah.
And let us all puff out our chests one last time.
It's getting a little bit hot in here.
It's getting a little hot in here. And I'm having a giveaway on my channel right now. Go to my channel and there's a Heart of Thorns giveaway. You can win one of these amazing shirts. You can win lanyards. You can win lanyards and pins and all kinds of fun stuff. I've already gotten some amazing submissions. You have until the end of the month, so go and do that and win
Go.
Heart of Thorns stuff. Go! The shine is real, you guys. The shine is real. Alright, we will leave it there. Thank you so much for watching, and we should see you guys next week.
Bye.
Lots of love.
Mwah.
Circle, square,
Circle, square,
triangle, bear.
For the last one.
Bye.
We did.